All right, guys, here we are, intermediate curriculum for the week. We are going to start with a very basic flow that I like to do, and then we're going to build everything off of there. So, here we go. Professor, we're in our wrestling stance. He's going to come out and he's going to grab my head. Okay, when he grabs my head, I'm going to take his arm and I'm going to post it up. Drop my level, step to the armpit, and hit a duck. Okay? From here, he is going to take his thumbs on my inside of the top hand, hips forward, strip the grip, and maintain the grip of that hand. Now look, it's very important which way he turns. If he turns and looks at the hand that he's holding, I can just follow him through the whole time. So he wants to make sure that only in his left hand, because he's holding my left hand, he holds that grip, looks away from the hand, and faces me. So now here we are back again. He pushes my chest, my shoulder. I'm going to hit my arm drag. He's going to execute the same thing. And now look away, okay, and step back into the side clinch position, okay? Now, when we're in this side clinch, we are going to go to here eventually. But where we want to start is on the shoulder, okay? I wanted to show this first because this is, go back to my waist, this is the common thing that people do, okay? I'll show why it's not correct in a second. He's on my shoulder. He has good head position. From here, I do nothing. He locks my body, sets me down with the side clinch, okay? I set up my hands, bridge, hips. He stands. Now, okay? This is going to depend gi and no gi. We are wearing gis right now, so I am going to make a grip. A pant grip, a sleeve grip, and a de la Riva. This is where I want to be, especially in the gi. Okay? I'm going to open up his stance, make my hook, kick my foot in the space, bring myself in. Okay? I'm tight here on the Ashi position, or probably single leg X, definitely in the gi, right? Hips up, sweep him over, okay? Look, I don't need this hand to get up. I control this hand because I don't want him to be able to get his head up. He needs his head to he needs this arm to start getting his head up. So, control, post, and here I am and out. From this position, we're gonna Toreando. Grabbing pants on the knees, pin his legs to the mat. Whatever, now I can choose. Pin, hop around, side control. He doesn't let his head get controlled so that he can now do the escape. Bridge, hip, back to the guard. This time it's closed. He's gonna make his grip. Sleeve and collar showing the armpit. He's gonna change his angle and make a top lock. Okay, from the top lock position, he's gonna scoop my arm and scoop my leg. Change his angle again, getting that stop. See how his knee, his left knee right now, move your left leg, Professor. That one, that knee is gonna be pointed directly in my ear. Go back, okay? So that I'm very tight here, okay? From this position, he takes his leg, puts it in front, and executes a nice armbar. Tap. After the top of the armbar, he releases and comes around to the trap of the triangle. Just the cross leg position. Now, here's where things get tricky. This is all on John Donahar's stuff, and we're gonna go over it very quickly, okay? My arm is on his chest. What he doesn't want is for me to start to posture, or if he locks up a very nice triangle, with this arm over though, he doesn't want me taking his knee and putting it on the mat. So, from the trap of the triangle, immediately his left hand's gonna hold my head. He's gonna swim behind my elbow, putting my arm to the ground. And then he's gonna switch hands on my head. From here, I have no option other than to start to drive forward. When I drive forward, he scoops my leg, spins his angle, and there's the nice triangle. Now, it's my turn to grab his head, and we'll go. I grab the head, he posts and goes to my back. Okay? Thumbs in on the top hand, hips forward, separate. Facing. Arm drag. To the back. Thumbs in, separate. enter in the side clinch, okay? Remember, I didn't go to the waist right away. Here I am, head position. He does nothing, lock the body, set down. He performs a side control escape. I stand, he makes his grips. Here we go. Sweeps me over, comes up, Toreandos. I catch his arm. Bridge, hip, to the closed guard.
Should we move over, buddy?
Open, get my grips. Top lock, scoop and scoop, change the angle, armbar. Wrap the triangle, swing the arm to the mat, grab the head. Here he comes to try to come forward to stack, invert, and finish. So guys, let's just all start with that flow, and then we'll be right back. So guys, just some little tidbits of information before we go on to the next thing. Professor Alex and I, you just said, man, go ahead, say what you said.
It's amazing how there's those little variations due to like body type and experiences, mobility issues, right?
Right.
So it's wild how I learned so much jiu-jitsu from you, and at the same time, like I do it slightly different at the end, right?
Yes. So look, no, we're not saying that how I just showed everything is the way. It's not perfect. It's not written in stone. Like, yes, there are some things in jiu-jitsu that are very written in stone. Don't give people your back with your hooks in and lift your chin, okay? Yeah. Like, that's written in stone. We don't do things like that. But everything else can have some gray areas to them, you know? It's kind of like the Matrix a little bit, right? Like, once you understand all of the rules, you get to break all of the rules, you know, a little bit. We're not going that deep with this, but you might put your hand here and your instructor might show this versus this. Right? And look, I'm no world champion, Professor.
Nope.
No world champion. Marcelo Garcia is a world champion. And I can't do things just like Marcelo Garcia because of what Professor talked about. I am not 5'6" and 150 pounds, right? I am 6'2" and 250 pounds. So our things aren't gonna quite work the same. So you do you a little bit, not a lot, a little bit. You have to follow the rules, but nothing's written in stone. Okay guys, we're gonna make a little adjustment in the flow, okay? And the first adjustment's gonna come on that second back escape when I enter into the side clench, and why? I don't wanna be going to the waist immediately, okay? So Professor's on my back, we just did the arm drag. I separate the grip. Now look, as I go to step in, if I reach my hand immediately to his waist, and he's a knowledgeable partner, and he starts to move his hips away, watch what happens to me. And now I'm in this front headlock position, and I've made back exposure, okay? He has exposed my back here, and the exposure of the back is the number one thing that we don't ever want to do. We don't, sometimes we have to, obviously, but let's take, the way I like to explain this is in every combat sport, I don't care what combat sport you're doing, the exposure of the back is the key, okay? And we can talk about it from a striking aspect to start. His hands are up, he's gonna throw a cross. When he throws his cross, I'm gonna slip outside. Everyone thinks that it's this slip that makes, it is the slip, but his problem is what, Professor?
Not facing anymore.
His back is exposed to me, and now I can start to do everything that I want to do. He has no defense from here. He has to do something to relieve the back exposure. Wrestling, okay? So we're gonna look at the three major combat sports, striking, wrestling, and jiu-jitsu, right? If I can get behind him in some way, he has nowhere to go. He cannot, it's very hard for him to start mounting any type of offense from here. Yes? Because I can put him forward and I can put him back over the top. And then we all know in Jiu-Jitsu that the back exposure creates the choke as well. So that is why, behind me again, Professor, on the separation of these hands, when I step back in, I take my hand and grab the shoulder so that when he starts to move his hips away, I stay very connected to him. Is my back exposed?
Not at all.
Not at all. And now from here, step this leg back for me too for a second. Okay? Generally what happens, okay, and where we're gonna go from here is he moved his hips away and he's gonna whizzer with this hand. So when these two things happen, okay, where am I gonna go? I'm gonna drop my level, okay? I'm gonna step behind him with my lead leg, reach down, pick up his single leg. From here, step toward the toe, finish the single. And now here he goes back on the flow, okay? He makes his grips, stretches me out, and we go to work. We don't have to show the whole thing. Everything else is gonna stay the same, okay? The only difference is the takedown. So one more time. He just arm dragged to my back. Boom, here we are. Hips forward. I step back, making my underhook position. He whizzers and sticks his hips out so that I can't grab the waist. I drop my level, step in deep, head stays high. Notice I didn't do this. My head is up high, step towards him, start finishing, and now the flow continues. Okay guys, we are looking at back defense today, but what I want to go over first a little bit is a little bit of back offense so that we can understand the concepts, because one does not work without the other. You have to understand both sides so that you can really understand. So we're going to start with some back offense. Professor, can I have your back real fast? So I have my two hooks in and I have my seatbelt grip. Let's understand something. I know a lot of us probably learned good side and bad side, or safe side and risky side. This is a misnomer, let's say. I like to think of it in two ways. We have a choking side and we have an underhook side. So real fast, what am I saying? Okay, with my seatbelt grip, choking side, underhook side. I can be on choking side and I can also be on underhook side. Okay? Both are perfectly fine. What it's going to come down to is where his head is in relation to my choking arm and my head. So what am I saying? Here I am. I can go to the choking side and choke him just fine, because his head right now is in between my choking arm and my head. So when his head stays there, one, can you escape, Professor?
No, sir.
There's no escaping. And two, I have all of my attacks. The same holds true on the underhook side, which we used to think of as the risky side, okay? I like to create a little more of an angle, but right now, his head is where? It's in between still, my choking arm and my head. Escape?
No, sir.
There's no escaping, and there's finishing, okay? So, real fast, we're just gonna go over a couple good ways to choke somebody on both sides so that you can practice it, and then we're gonna start to look at escaping, okay? So here I am, I have my seatbelt grip. I'm just gonna show all without the collar options, so it works just fine in no-gi as well, okay? I have him pulled back towards me, my head squeezing very tight, okay? I also understand that his primary defensive hand is the one that's opposite my choke, okay? So as soon as I make my seatbelt grip, I also like to gather up, okay, the primary defensive hand. I'm gonna fall to the choking side and I'm gonna hide my hand underneath Professor's armpit. And I'm doing this because I don't want him to access my thumb. If he accesses my thumb, he'll always be able to pull my wrist down. So here I am, I'm holding nice and tight. Push with my head, clear the arm out of the way, and cup his shoulder. Getting my chin over my thumb. So now he might be able to access my wrist or my forearm, but it's not gonna prevent the choke. Like I said, if my head's away here, he gets my thumb line, and now he very easily pulls the hand off. So that's the attack from the choking side. Now, let's look at the attack from the underhook side. I fell to my side. I created some angle. I stepped on the hip, my foot going across. Okay? I have a cross grip now. My right to his left. My left is going to pass under and grab his wrist. Once I grab his, I would like my head a little tighter here, but you won't hear me. I'd probably be there. Okay? Grab his wrist, trap and cross, switch it back, and now look, I access the neck, chin on the hand, and finish. Obviously with the gi, this is going to be the best finish. So guys, those were just some very quick basics to attack that I would like you to practice first. Okay? They both had to deal with hand trapping. Okay? We'll get into that more on attack sides, on attack of the back stuff. But notice I trapped and dealt with hands first, and then I went about attacking the neck. So go ahead and practice, and then we'll be back for some defense. Guys, here we go. We are going to look now at choking side defense, which is what we're primarily focusing on, but we are also going to put that together with a flow. I particularly really like to teach in flows because the way Jiu-Jitsu works is it's not over until somebody taps, okay? And if nobody taps, we have to stay in the moment. A lot of times people go, oh man, what do you mean Jiu-Jitsu saved your life? Or Jiu-Jitsu's, Jiu-Jitsu in life. What Jiu-Jitsu is teaching us, okay, is that all we have is what's facing us right now. So, after I perform my beautiful guard pass, and I'm inside control, I don't have time to congratulate myself. Right? I have work to do. I have work to do currently. I don't have time to be like, yes, what a great, oh man, yes, what a great guard pass, and now here I am right back in my partner's guard. It's time for me to deal with the situation in front of me, the side control. So if we teach and think of Jiu-Jitsu in moves, when you go to then train them, you will perform said move, maybe do it well, maybe do it not, and you'll be all hung up in the past. Yes, I did it great, or man, I'm terrible, and I did it so poorly. Where all we're trying to do is be very skillful in the moment. And can we do things the most skillfully? Is that a word?
I love that. Yeah, okay? I love that.
Can I do things the most skillfully as I can right now with no dependency on past or future? Okay? So that's why I really like to teach in flows. So here we are, Fess. You're on my back. So we're going to start just where we left off. Here he is. Seatbelt grip. Okay? Head nice and tight. Pulls me to choking side. Gathers my hand, same side grip, hides his hand, moves my head with his head, finds my shoulder with his hand and chin on the hand, and he chokes me. But now, we're going to go back and say he just had a seatbelt grip. What do I want to do? Here's my defense. First, primary defensive hand inside. Okay, let go for a second. Notice, thumb in the space so that he doesn't lose the grip. A lot of times we grab like this and it will slip to my neck. Thumb on one side, fingers on the other. Okay? Elbow down and tight so that, can you access my neck?
Yes.
No, the neck is safe. Once the hands are pulled down, 2-on-1 on the hand, straight in the hand. I'm going to take his arm now and I'm going to pass it to the other side of my head and slightly turn my hips. Notice, here's what we talked about when we did the attack. The rule is broken. My head is no longer in between his head and his choking arm. Now I can escape. Before any of this, it was all defense. It was all don't get finished. Now it's time to escape. From here, look, you'll see variations of this. Some people like to hold the elbow. I always hold the wrist. I never let go. Sometimes I'll hold this gi. I'm not too particular here. Okay? My hand that's on his chest is going to let go, and that elbow is going to suck in deep. Okay? I don't want to reach it above his head. The key with this okay, is that if I try to just turn up, okay, I will not be escaping. He will be mounting. What am I saying? Everyone makes this mistake. They push and they try to get up. And I lose the pressure on this arm. He pulls his arm down and mounts me. Problems. So, I hold the arm, I let go, I suck the elbow in. I just need to keep his arm up in the air. I don't need to necessarily get up on top of him. The back of my head is on the ground right now. I'm going to put my forehead on the ground while never losing contact with my head on the mat. Arm pulls out. And now here I am on top, 2-on-1 on the arm. I'm going to pass. We look to Toreando. He turtles. I let him turtle. Spin your head, please. They don't have to do this head spin, just so that you can see. I make my seatbelt grip, and there's a gap right here. I put my near side hook in, all the way through, pull him over. Gather up his primary defensive hand, hook goes in. Choke, let go. He holds 2-on-1, passes my arm. There's the break. Holds, sucks his elbow in, spins. Look at his head. Look, he moved to my elbow. Just different people, different folks, okay? Spins around, pulls that left hand all the way out. Hops up, controls 2-on-1, stands up, guards open, backs up for Toreando, pins, and here's our flow up. My turn to turtle, seat belt, hook goes in, pulls me over, and now it stays the same, guys.